Hello and welcome to Relaxed Male, a podcast that helps men change their relationship with themselves. I am your host, Brian, and I am a men's life and mindset coach who is here to help you understand that you don't have to suffer at your own expense. You can live your dream, and I encourage you to set, then pursue your goals. So join me as I change the mindset and attitudes of men so that they can be the leaders of their families and their destinies. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. This is episode number 57, and today we're going to be talking about building respect, why it's important, how do you actually start building respect? If you don't feel like people are respecting you, what are some things you can actually do so that you can actually get that respect going? Now, before we actually jump into that, though, I want to actually reach out to the new guys who are listening. I have been looking at the stats, and we have got a whole slew of people listening over on Ghana, and that is probably one of the bigger audio streaming services that are available over in India, which blows my mind. Actually, I've got the majority of my listeners come from Ghana, while the rest of y'all are, the second number one is from the assortment of different podcast listening apps, followed by underneath that Deezer and then Spotify. So if you are new to listening to the show, dude, I appreciate it. You can actually reach me. I've got a couple different ways you can reach me. One is over at relaxedmale.com/contact. You can, go to there and actually just fill out, the form. Put out whatever your question, comment, concern, thoughts, ideas, whatever you have into that email and send it off to me. I'll receive it. If you want me to read it online, there's a little check box on there. I'll read it out online. If you don't put the check mark in there, I won't read it. Or you can actually go over to shoot me an email by using the email address of Brian with a Y, so that's BRYAN at relaxedmale.com. And again, that'll arrive in my inbox, and I would be more than happy to be able to answer that email back and answer whatever questions, comments, concerns, ideas. Again, write whatever you want. I'll read it. And if you want, just tell me whether you want it to be read online on the podcast, and I will read it. If you don't want me to, that's fine. I won't read it. I can keep everything as secret as open as possible. Now, today, if you notice a bit of the sound, I keep hearing it, and I know it's showing up at least on the audio indicator of the app that I'm doing. But I'm doing the show tonight again from the sleeping bunk of my truck, and that is because the holidays, honestly, the holidays were just wild. I mean, yeah, I had 4 days off for Christmas. I've got 3 days off for New Year's. And you would think, well, you should have enough. Well, no, sadly, because I've got people who have come in, and we've had guests and stuff like that. So me having the time, finding a place to be able to sit down and actually do a show has been, well, I've got to do it in the truck. So I am doing it here in the truck. And so the sound quality, if you're new, it is going to be a little off. But usually it's not horrendous, and I try to clean it up fairly well with Alphonic. Great service. If you're into podcasting, you know what Alphonic is. If you're getting into podcasting, then and you want to do a fairly inexpensive way of cleaning up your audio, Alphonic is a great service to use. They've got where you can do for like 2 hours for free. And then after that, they've got a paid service, which is, in all reality, it's actually pretty inexpensive. So, but anyhow, you got, all right. So word of the wise, don't eat before you do a podcast, because all of a sudden you talk and you're like, oh, there's a piece of food right there. So sorry about that. But anyhow, so every week I like to try to do a question of the week. Now, the question of the week can be any question that you send over. You can do that by going to relaxedmail.com/contact or sending me an email at brian@relaxedmail.com. Either way, makes it over here and I'll answer those questions on the air. If I don't get anything, I usually jump over to Quora and I'll find a question that just kind of really piques my interest and I'll respond to it. And then I'll just post the answer up on the site. Well, the last couple of days, I jumped over and joined up with a couple of other Facebook groups because I've been trying to look for other places where men might need help to become better men. Maybe they're having issues and they're not feeling like they're running into problems and their problems are getting in the way of their life and trying to find places that I can help them. Well, I found a couple places and one threw out a question that, usually these questions that attract my attention are the ones that sort of irritate me and really kind of get my, well, good grief, man. This is what you kind of do type of ideas and thoughts going. And I had this one question and it's from a private Facebook group. So I'm not going to share the dude's name, but his comment was, I handled all the finances. The kids were well fed and clean, full-time career, still got told I wasn't being enough. So it really is just down to what the woman thinks. Okay. Now, it's kind of more of a comment than anything, but wow, did I have to answer that. And what basically I have replied to him, and what I'm going to say here is, first off, you can hear the victimhood in here. I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing all this other stuff and I'm not getting anything for it. You're hearing that in there, right? Or was that just me that's hearing that? He's got this victim mindset. So he's already got himself behind an 8-ball, thinking he has no power. He's doing everything he can and is not getting any reply for it. Well, that tells me right there that this guy is more than likely a people pleaser and wants to and he's doing everything he can. He is busting his butt. He is grinding himself down to the nub and not getting anything in return. And that's what happens when you are a nice guy. When you're a nice guy, a lot like a victim, you get no respect. Why? Because people see why you're actually trying to be the nice guy. Nice guys and assholes are one and the same. They are two ends of the same donkey. The only difference is on an asshole and a nice guy is that the asshole happens to be mean. The nice guy is overly nice. Neither one of them get what they really want because the asshole is always driving people away. The nice guy is always driving people away because the nice guy is just killing himself trying to make sure that he can make people appreciate him. He is not doing things for his own good. He's doing things because that's what he thinks he will be able to do to be able to accomplish somebody to like him. Nice guys are nice because they don't know how to actually soothe and control their anxiety. And women don't like nice guys. Women don't like jerks either, but they like guys who are able to take control and be able to say, hey, where do you want to eat at? Well, I don't know. Where do you want to eat at? All right. Well, I'm thinking of going over here. Oh, no, I don't like that. All right. Well, where do you want to go? I don't know. What you choose. Okay. Well, then we're going to choose, and you choose where you actually make the choice. You don't sit there and go, oh, well, I don't really care what you want to do. If you hem and haw and, try to appease your wife, she's not going to take any respect in you. If you are busy whining and busting your butt, but you're dropping all your other duties as a man, guess what? Your wife is not going to respect you. Yeah, it's like, holy crap, dude, I've been working my butt off. You want me to do more? Well, I want you to work your butt off, but you also don't work your butt. You don't use work as an excuse to avoid the family. You don't use it work as an excuse to not do your other duties. You can do the work you need to do. Now, there might be seasons in your life where, yeah, you may have to sit there and put in an 80-hour week or two. Maybe you've got your own business and you're trying to do a new product launch. And so you're busting your butt. You're putting in the only time you sleep is for 4 hours. And that's just because you fall asleep at your desk. But you keep plowing and you're getting something taken care of. And as soon as that launch happens and you're able to get through that launch, and once that's done, then you have a rest period and you can actually sit back and go, well, honey, thank you for allowing me to do that push. Thank you for allowing me to get X, Y, and Z done. I appreciate it greatly. Here are the benefits of that hard work. Thank you for everything. And you appreciate what she did. You recognize what she's doing. A lot of times, guys who are especially workaholics, they work because they don't know what to do with themselves in the family, in the house. They don't know what they're supposed to do whenever they're with the kids and the kids are crawling on him and he just got home. He's stressed. He can't unwind because he's got 10,000 things on his mind. Well, that's what happens when you are not being present with your family. You have to be able to be present with your family. You have to have that time where you are able to talk to your wife and you are able to build the trust that she needs in you, that you're not going to just, wig out and run off or do something stupid and do something weird and things like that. Women need constant reinforcement to understand that they are safe and that they can talk and they can open up to you. And if they can emotionally open up to you, then they're going to be more receptive and find you more attractive. That's one of the reasons why when dating, it's so easy, because she opens up emotionally enough to where she finds you sexually attractive. And when you can go in and you can rest assured that you take care of, say, the dishes, or you sweep the living room floor, or you cook supper for her. You come home and he's like, so what's going on? And you just see, that look in her eyes, and you're like, ugh. It's like, kids have been rough. All right, I get it. Don't worry about it. I've got supper taken care of. It's all hammered out. And I'll get it made. I'll serve you. You just kick back, relax, jump in the bathtub, throw some Calgon into it, and let it take you away. And you let her relax, and you go ahead and take over. And you will see a dramatic increase in the fact that she knows that she is not battling the house alone. And with this guy, it sounds like he was avoiding a lot of stuff. Yeah, the kids were being taken care of and clean. Maybe he was doing it. I don't know what all the full details are. Because the only thing I've got is, see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28, 29, roughly about 30 words there for me to go off of. Now, one thing he doesn't mention in there is what his side or what his role in the situation is. Is he a drinker? Is he a drug user? Has he had an affair? There's a lot of things that could be going on. Could she be having an affair? Could there be drugs? There could be a whole lot of things. Maybe she's in the middle of a depressive state. No one really knows. Just off of what little information that I got on that. But the fact that what really got me and sparked my attention on that was just the fact that I have a hunch that there's a lot more to his story than what he's actually telling, because he gives himself all these exaltations. I've handled all the finances. The kids are fed. I've got a full-time career, and I get told I'm shit, is essentially what he's saying. Nothing in there states, but I screwed up here. I screwed up there. I had an affair 4 days ago, and she just found out. There's a lot of things in there that could have happened. It could just be that, again, it's just he's not holding up to his side of the deal. She feels like she's drowning and that there's no other way out. And that's really sad because now, because of both of their decisions and both of them not communicating with each other so much, you've got, since he says there's kids, I'm assuming he's got kids. The kids are now going to have to suffer from a broken family. And that's real sad. So the key to all, what would be needing to be taken on this would, first off, he would actually need to start becoming a man more. Possibly join up with a men's group like the Brotherhood of Men and find out where he's actually deficient, accept the fact that he's being deficient in those areas, and to actually turn around and start making strides to improve his situation. And in doing so, would probably bring back some of the sparkle in the wife's eye, because she sees, yeah, he's working, he's bringing home the bacon. He's not making quite as much because he's cutting time off to come home and see the kids and hang out with the kids and wrestle with the kids and build Legos and, you know, take the kids out bike riding or just go on a nature walk. You know, there's a whole slew of stuff. No matter whether you're in the city or you're out in the country, there's a lot of stuff a dad can do with their kids that will actually benefit mom. And so there's a lot of problems with saying it's her fault. Oh, it's just the wife just, it's just what the woman thinks. No, it's not just what the woman thinks. That's what she thinks. That's her thought. That's her particular thought. It's not your thought. I understand that this guy's probably somewhat sitting there going, well, I'm just doing what I thought I could to make her happy. No, well, first off, the dude failed because he can't make her happy. To assume that you can make anybody happy does not do anything. It's impossible to make another person happy. All you can do is be happy yourself. And to go off and be a workaholic just shows that this guy didn't know how to be happy with himself. And because of that, that's where a lot of the blame on it being the woman's fault. He's not taking any responsibility for what his actions are. He's wanting to point it at the wife, saying it's all her fault. She wants to blame me for everything, and it's not fair, and suck on his thumb. And no, this is what happens when you don't take responsibility for your own actions. So sorry to see that this guy is going through what he's going through, but there is hope. And if you're having to have some type of problem like that, man, jump on over into the Brotherhood of Men, because we can help get you on the path to where you become the men that your child and your children are looking for. So now, with that, you also saw that this guy had no respect, and so that's what we're going to blend over. We're going to blend over into is the main topic of the week. And the main topic this week is about building respect. How do you actually build respect? Well, it's really, there's not a whole lot to it, except a lot of work. Respect is a lot like trust. It will take years and years of hard work and grinding and just keeping at it and going to get respect. But it takes just 10 seconds of compromising your values to knock that wall down. It is just nothing to knock down. It takes forever to build up and just a puff of wind almost. If you don't have any integrity, that integrity transfers to what your respect is, and that respect will fall every single time. But what do you need? Say you don't see that your boss is respecting you, or you've got a coworker who's not respecting you, and that you think they need to be respecting you. Well, first off, no. You can think that they need to respect you, but they really don't need to. What benefit is it going to be to you if they actually do take the time to actually respect you. And they see that all the work that you do and they applaud you. Is that all you're wanting? Just a pat on your back and a good job, buddy? Or are you wanting, or why is it? So ask yourself, before you even start complaining about lack of respect, why is it that you want this person's respect? What is it about Al from accounting that you need his respect for? Are you working really, really hard to try to get somebody to give you respect because it'll do you any good? Or are you just really wanting it because everybody else seems to think that you need to have Al's respect? Does it serve you to have his respect? If he doesn't respect you and it doesn't serve you, say you've got Johnson from the mail department, from shipping and receiving, and he could care less about your butt, but you've got the boss's respect. Whose respect do you really need? Is it really Jimmy over in the shipping and receiving? No, you've got the boss's respect. He shows it every day that he's got the respect and faith in you. So before you even dive into that, I would honestly ask yourself, does it matter that this guy respects me? Or are you just really wanting to get that respect, have him to act like he's respecting you because it'll make you feel better? If it's just so that you can feel better, dude, you're wasting your time and stop trying. If it's somebody who is worthy of having, of getting the respect, then please, yeah. Okay. That's something you might want to work on. Your friends are people you want to have respect. You want them to have respect for you. So you want to make sure you build up those friendships, and you want to make sure that you're there and you're doing all the things that a good friend needs to do to be able to have, to know that they can trust on you and they have the respect that you're going to be where you're going to be. And if they call you up at 3 a.m. and say, dude, we are over 2 states over and we are broke down and we're in the middle of nowhere. We don't know how to get to anywhere. And you're like, all right, dude, you're what, 6.5 hours away? All right, dude, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll gas up the Jeep and I'm heading your direction, and off you go. Kiss your wife, say, hey, my good buddy is my brother's, my bro is broke down over in Nebraska, and he needs me to run up to Nebraska and help him out. All right. Well, guess what? You do that. And with you doing that, that's how you build some additional respect, because he respects you enough to turn to you. So how do you build respect? Number one way to build respect is be consistent. You need consistency in your life. If you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be at work 8 o'clock every day, and I'm working until 5:30. You're going to put in 30 minutes extra every day. Boom. Guess what? You want to be that guy. You want to be known as that guy. People will start respecting you because they know they can trust that you're always going to be where you say you're going to be. If you, for whatever reason, you screw up, the second thing is to own your dirt. Fess up. Admit when you have done wrong. When you admit when you're done wrong, or if someone asks, hey, who did this particular job? I did, sir. Own that dirt. And if he goes, well, it's a crappiest piece of crap that I've ever crapped out. We're not doing this. Yes, sir. I understand. It won't happen again. You own that dirt. You take it. And yeah, it may mean that you're going to have a sore ass for a day or two. And you may end up being embarrassed. But guess what? You will build respect for the fact that you admit that you did something wrong. Now, don't make doing something wrong a habit, because if it becomes a hindrance to yourself, to your company, to your friends, to your whatevers, that's going to start degrading the respect that you get. But if you've done an honest mistake, there's nothing wrong with fessing up to it. And actually, it is something that is very respectable, because learning from those mistakes is the most respectful thing you can actually do. So that's the other thing, is to be able to be open to all learning. everything you do, even if you are starting something brand spanking new and you've never done that thing before, and your coworkers are going, dude, have you ever done this? You're like, nope, and it's like, well, how are we going to figure out how to do this? It's like, by starting. We're just going to get into it. We're going to learn along the way. And if you could take that leadership and you can take the adventure of learning something new and spread it to the guys who are working with you and make it fun. Yeah, it's going to suck because there's going to be times where y'all are just stuck and you don't know what to do and you're pounding your head against a wall and there's no cracks showing. What are you going to do? Well, and that's where you go out and you learn. You talk to somebody, you go up to your boss and go, boss, I've tried 18 different ways on doing this. I cannot get this widget down below $20 per unit. And your boss may come up with I think you're on the right path. Keep trying, keep looking at this. Go down and peek at that a little bit. Or have you ever tried, he will give you somebody higher up will give you pointers and you can then take it and start applying those lessons to the other. And if you keep learning and you take everything as a learning experience, you're not going to be embarrassed when you screw up because it's just a way of not building the light bulb. Thomas Edison famously was said he didn't fail 10,000 times. He learned 10,000 ways to not make a light bulb. Another way to build respect is honestly just speak your mind. Don't be like our question of the week guy and kind of him and hawing. Oh, well, I don't know. Just kind of whatever you kind of like, dear. Those things don't work. Where do you want to eat? I'm hungry for Mexican food. All right, let's go get some Mexican food. Or I'm hungry for Chinese food. All right, let's go Chinese. You know what? I really don't like the color of that Chevrolet pickup, but I do like the color of the Ford pickup. Okay, you've spoke your mind. Honey, I really don't like that color on you. It diminishes something. You can speak your mind without being a jerk. Cause there are four different ways of communicating. There's the passive form of communicating. And that's where, you just kind of, I don't know. You're not very vague. You're very vague. You're not specific on anything. You just kind of whatever you like type of person. You also have the aggressive. It's like, I know what you need to be doing. You need to be going like this, and this is how you need to be doing it. And if you don't do it that way, you're a jerk. And you've got the guy who's really aggressive. That's the second way of communicating. Neither one of those two ways are really, really effective. You also have a combination of those two dudes called the passive aggressive, and they're the ones who, are the slimy slime balls that just, they try to butter up to you just so they can get close enough to you to slip a knife in your back. Those are the guys aren't trustworthy either. No, those three types of guys do not have any respect. They do not build respect. They sit around and whine about not having enough respect. The person who actually has a good means of being able to talk to people and be able to have respect are the guys who do the fourth type of communication, and that is speaking assertively. Not aggressively, assertively, where you are actually stating the facts and you're stating your plan and your ideas and your thought processes in a way so that people are able to gather it. You're not hem and hawing. You're not mincing words. You're not trying to make sure you don't offend somebody by trying to use PC language. You're not going up to somebody and going, are you a him, her, he, or you're going, you look like a dude. You're a dude. All right. So dude, what do we do? You got that type of, you state what needs to be said. You're not going to sit there and try to not try to belittle a person in front of everybody, but you're going to say what needs to be said. And with that, you're actually, because people know what's on your mind, know what you're thinking, they're actually going to have respect for how you feel and respect for you as a whole. Now, the last thing that is important is if you want to get respect and you're not getting respect from somebody, try giving them some respect. It's like, well, they haven't given me any. Why should I give them? Well, that's their whole reason why. A lot of times people will sit there and butt heads and butt heads and butt heads. It's like the the eastbound Zacks and the eastbound Zacks and the westbound Zacks and the captain in the Dr. Seuss storybook, where they stood in the middle. They were not, neither one of them were willing to budge, scooch over just a little bit to one side so that the other one can walk around, so that they both can continue on their way. They stood there. They built the whole city and highway system around them, all because they refused to budge. Well, that's what happens when you don't get any respect from somebody else who you want respect from. Now, if you take the time and be the adult and go, hey, dude, and give them some respect. Hey, this guy just kicked tail this week. I appreciate it. I wouldn't have been able to get anywhere close to done if it wasn't for, miles over in development. But because you actually showed that guy respect, all of a sudden he's going, oh, well, that dude's not quite as much of an asshole as I thought he was. And so maybe he's not so bad. I'll give him, and he will actually start giving you respect back. So when it comes to respect, it's not hard. It can be hard because it can take a while. Like I said, it takes no time at all to destroy the, a wall of hope, or not hope, of respect. If you take that and you destroy a person's hope, you show that you're not doing anything that is worthy of respect. People aren't going to respect you. If you start being consistent and being respectful and giving out respect, and you're taking learning as a journey, and you're doing it with a sense of humor, and you're getting things done, and you're becoming and you're doing what needs to be done. I'm tripping over my words for some reason all of a sudden. You're going to build that respect. And before you know it, that respect, people will be looking at you and following the suggestions you make because they respect your word, respect your ideas, respect your thoughts. So guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to listen to what I had to say. If this is your first time listening to the show, again, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to listen. If you want to be able to get this podcast on your phone, tablet, computer, whatever your listening device of choice is, if you go to relaxmail.com/subscribe, you'll come up with a list of different ways that you can subscribe to the show. Choose one, select it. If you have a favorite, podcatcher like Overcast, I've got a link there that will actually take you and automatically bring up the page on on Overcast, and all you have to do is hit subscribe, and boom, voila, you'll get all the extra podcasts as they come out. I've got most of the popular ones, and some that you may not have ever heard of. I've got a list of all, like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Deezer and Pandora and Spotify and all the other ones. And so I'll try to make it as easy for you to be able to grab every episode that you want to listen to. And so do that. Now, this show also, though it comes out and it essentially doesn't cost you anything, I do ask for something. I do ask for a favor. Value for value. If you found any value in what I said this week, please take the time to share this podcast episode out to your friends, family, on Facebook, YouTube, wherever it is, wherever you have your audience, your family, your friends, your people who follow you, Twitter, Parler, maybe not Gab, but maybe Gab. I don't know. Maui, Okuna, there's all these different types of social media sites out there. So share this episode out for folks. If you are, if you would really like to, then go ahead and share out the show itself. Put a link, share a link out through your podcast app. There's all the podcast apps have share buttons these days, so there's a way for you to be able to share it to anybody and everybody who follow you. If you really, really, really want to give me a big old pat on the back and really put some gas in my tank, go to relaxedmail.com/pod chaser. That's all one word, and leave a rating and review in podchaser.com. That /relaxed mail is where that will take you to. That'll take you to the relaxed mail page on Podchaser, and that will actually help out tremendously too. It'll give me a quick little boost and let me know, hey, I'm on the right path, or wow, I'm just all sorts of off the rails, and people are leaving a bunch of 1 stars. So if you could do that for me, that would be tremendous also. So anyhow, guys, I will go ahead and go so you can carry on with your busy day. Thank you again for listening. We will talk to you next week. So guys, till then, love you. Take care and keep pushing on.